There we go. I think we are back. Good morning and welcome to another edition of Drive Time Radio. New York Vinnie with you. We'll dispense with the open this morning because sometimes that's just the way it goes. Sometimes the technical things work and sometimes they don't. Hope you're having a good morning, a better morning than I am. Sometimes I don't know if it's me, excuse me, or the different things that the different technical stuff. I'm not the biggest technical wizard in the world. I mean, I think you and I and everybody know that. But I think I've become fairly proficient at doing this. I've been doing it on StreamYard for a long time, but every time you come up with the interface. And I know my problems you don't need to hear, but every time I come up with the interface, it seems that something new is on there or something doesn't work out quite the way it is supposed to. So there's issues with the platform, and we're going to try to find another platform when we can to try to remedy it. But right now, this is what we're on, and we're going to do our best to make it better. So welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. I know it's a Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, a fun one with your family. I was lucky enough to have my family up here, my daughter and my sister and brother-in-law, and we had a great Thanksgiving. We spent it over at the Snoqualmie Casino buffet. And I'll tell you more about that later. But it was a good time, and that's what counts at Thanksgiving, right? When you have a good time and you are able to just enjoy the people that you're with. That's what makes it a good Thanksgiving. I think, in my opinion, that's what makes it a good Thanksgiving. All right, we got a lot of car stuff to get to today, but I want to do it a little bit in reverse today and get to our guests first, being as we didn't do the first 15 minutes of the show like we thought we were going to. So we'll have some stuff coming up for you, including a brand new Cars and Coffee in the Edmonds area. So if you're up here in the North Sound and you are thinking that, hey, you know what, I'd like to go to a Cars and Coffee to check it out. There's going to be a new one and they could use your support. So please hang out for that information. Right now, I get a chance to welcome in a man who's been a friend of mine for a long time. He is a go-to guy when it comes to knowledge of cars, list of cars, of best cars to buy, rating cars. I mean, he just knows about cars and SUVs and things that go on 4, 3, 2, whatever wheels they're on, gas, electric. He's John Vincent, the automotive editor of U.S. News and World Report. John Vincent, good morning. How are you, man?
Good morning, Vinnie. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see a familiar face. As somebody said once, these are the times that try men's souls. And but as in this internet age, you get through it, you make it work, you figure it usually what you did wrong, or somebody did wrong, and then you move on. How's your Thanksgiving, pal?
Thanksgiving was good. It was quiet at home. It was good.
Which is excellent, right? It was not supposed to be. I consider it a great Thanksgiving when you get in without political discussions, and we stayed away from politics. We took an oath that we were going to stay away from politics, and it worked out beautifully. It was excellent.
Did you argue about whether they're sweet potatoes or yams?
We got into that a little, or the new argument, I guess, among the younger people is ham or turkey. There seems to be, a pretty decent contingent of people out there who say that ham is their choice. Now, I was brought up with ham on Easter, turkey on Thanksgiving, and some kind of meat after the 7 fishes on Thanksgiving. And New Year's Eve, you just get drunk. Just go 7 sheets to the wind.
Prime rib on Christmas.
Yeah. Prime rib on Christmas is great. Look, good, healthy hunk of meat. We actually went out this year to the buffet at the Snoqualmie Casino, and I looked around to see what was moving off the table. And the turkey was moving pretty fast. Prime rib was moving just as fast. Ham was kind of sitting there. You know, the ham gets that kind of sheen to it when it sits too long.
Casino buffet ham is a little iffy.
Although, you know, this buffet, I mean, this is the second time we did the buffet over the last couple of years because I love to cook on Thanksgiving. It's one of the things I really like to do. Look forward to it all year, but I just didn't have it in me this year, man. Some years you just get, I'm just going to take the easy way out. So we hit the casino buffet, saw an old friend of mine, made a new friend while standing in line at the buffet. So it's all good. And everybody was happy. You know, everybody got what they wanted, and they were happy. Which is probably what I can say about the car world these days, as we often talk about the different things going on in the car world. And it seems to me as we get ready to close out 2025, a buffet with a little something for everybody and maybe some new treats coming if you are shopping the low end of the market, especially of, $29,000 to $49,000 cars.
Scary that we consider that the low end of the market now, but there are actually some that are in the low 20s that are coming that are really good too.
And that's good news for people because I think the big turnoff for a lot of people, not even a turnoff, but just the unattainability of what they consider to be a decent car. And part of that is due to, we a couple of years ago, we could blame it on COVID. We can't blame it on that anymore. Then we could blame it on manufacturers' greed. I don't know if that's really to blame as much as it is. Everything costs so much money these days.
Now we have the tariffs coming into the picture, and that's going to make everything more expensive.
Yeah, how are you seeing tariffs affect the automobile market, the new car market right now?
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty about tariffs still, so they're pricing that uncertainty into cars. And one of the ways that you've seen it, because they don't really want to change the sticker price that quickly, is the destination charges. Used to be $795, $895, then it was $1,000. Now we're seeing destination charges of $2,600 on some cars, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Can I go to the factory and pick up my car?
There's only one factory delivered car you can get in the United States. It's the Chevy Corvette, and it's actually delivered adjacent to the factory at the Corvette Museum. At
the museum, yeah, I thought that because, so there's no way around. Like you can't say, well, let's just jump on a plane, or if you live in the Midwest, let's get Uncle Joey to drive me up there, and I'll pick up my car at the factory and drive it back for $2,600.
Nope. If you buy your car in Detroit, Michigan, 5 miles from the factory, you pay the same destination charge you pay if you're in Los Angeles.
Is that a continuing trend that we're going to see? Is a place? It's almost like almost liken it to the $25 charge when they first started for your bag on an airline. You're just paying. You handed the money for something that you used to get not for free, but at a very, very low cost.
Well, it's a way of advertising a low sticker price and then tacking some money onto the end of that.
Yeah. I used to, I never had a problem with it. Actually, it's kind of funny with foreign cars because the mindset was they would, bringing it over from Germany or from Japan or from wherever. And so there was some actual real cost involved. Obviously, there's cost involved in America too, but, you're driving it onto a truck and, what can it be? But it's one other way that they are going to get you. Do you think that as you look at the cost, will we see more manufacturers applying rebates and special programs, or and keeping the sticker price where it is? Or are we actually going to see some cars stripped down models more? Maybe cars with some lesser equipment in them, but yet the same model of a car, and maybe that's a way that they will be able to get the public to get enthusiastic about cars again. They're shopping in that lower price bracket.
Yeah, all of the above. We're seeing incentives. At US News, we track every incentive every automaker offers across the country. And we're seeing some pretty serious incentive spending right now. That's normal for the end of the year, but it's looking pretty good. It went away for a while when supplies were short, but now it's back. We're seeing some lower priced cars. There's a new Nissan Sentra out that's, great little car for not a lot of money.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and I haven't seen one in person yet, but I was just reading about it, reading the press stuff about it, and you really gotta push it to get to $30,000 in options in that car.
You do. And it looks good too.
Have you driven it yet?
I have.
What do you think?
It has the same powertrain as the last gen, so the powertrain is nothing to write home about. But features, it's much improved. Infotainment, light years ahead of where it was. It's a much better car.
Yeah, because this is a car that, and again, if you live on YouTube and watch all the car people on YouTube, don't buy a Nissan because the company is going to be dead in a week. I don't buy that, in any shape, manner, or form. They may be hurting, but at the very worst, somebody else is going to swoop in and buy them or dump some money into them, and that brand is going to live on. I think that's too big of a brand in the automotive world for it to go under. And while they're not as popular as they used to be in the United States, I believe worldwide, they're still pretty. It's still a good mark.
Yes, they do well in other parts of the world. They're struggling a bit in the United States. They have a lot of fairly old platforms and fairly old products, but that's getting better, and it's going to continue to get better. And like you said, they're a big car company with a lot of factory resources that other automakers would love to have. So I don't think they're going to go away. They may get absorbed by somebody else at some point, but we'll see.
Are they going to? I have been waiting for this smaller pickup truck revolution. We've seen a little bit of it, but we haven't seen it like I kind of thought we were going to see it. But am I just expecting too much too fast? Are we going to look a year ahead here or something and see a gaggle of smaller, with the success of the Maverick, obviously, with Ford, a lot of similar trucks to that, especially from Ford, who seems to be putting together a number of smaller, I call them urban pickup trucks.
We'll see. We have a couple small ones right now. We have the Maverick. We have the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which is kind of like a lifestyle pickup truck. Go to the garden center with it and not have to worry about getting your SUV dirty. There's a new one called the Slate, which is set to come out before too long. That's a pretty interesting little vehicle. Electric pickup truck, tiny, fully customizable. There's always talk about more pickups from Ram, a smaller pickup from Ram. We've heard that talk for probably 20 years, and we'll see what happens. And small is a relative term because some of these smaller trucks are as big as the mid-size pickup trucks from not too long ago.
Right. And I'm, obviously I'm a fan of the smaller pickup truck because I've lived in the city all my life, and to drive one of those Barouches around sometime is, can be a frightening experience, and to get one behind you coming up Aurora Avenue could be a real frightening experience. John Vincent is with us from U.S. News and World Report. Slate is interesting in that, for people who don't know, this is a pickup truck that's supposed to MSRP for around $25,000 to $30,000, I guess, in that neighborhood, if that's how it turns out, as a really stripped down model. And then it's like color forms. Remember color forms when you were a kid? You'll add things to it. You'll stick things on it that you want. A wrap, a radio, all different kinds. It doesn't even come with a radio. It comes with a slot for your cell phone to plug in on the dashboard. And you'll be able to customize it up to and including make If they are successful, will that be something that we'll see some of the mainstream manufacturers jump into, or is that too cost prohibitive for them?
I think Slate is a one-off for now. It's a very different business model than the mainstream automotive manufacturers have. It is so stripped down. I mean, it comes in one color and they expect you to wrap it. You can convert it into an SUV in your garage. You can get a flat pack kit and convert your truck into an SUV with, back seats and everything.
IKEA comes to automotive.
IKEA comes to automotive, basically. Yep.
It almost reminds me of some of those videos you see on YouTube with the guys that buy the trucks from China, and it's like the 3/4 size Ram pickup with 27 horsepower. It's kind of funny, but in a way, I could imagine that there are some people who are looking at that and saying, "Wow, will anybody notice I'm driving a 7/8 size Ram to the drive-in or whatever it is?" I think I saw a Mercedes. I think I saw a Land Rover in that kind of category. As we look at 2026, looking ahead, is there optimism? Because you were just at the LA Auto Show, and I'll get to that in a second. And obviously, there's always going to be optimism. I mean, nobody's going to be walking around the LA Auto Show going, "Oh man, we are just screwed." I mean, they're going to put their best foot forward. But what was the sense you got from manufacturers, designers, people in the knowing the automotive business as you were walking the show? Was there a good feeling that things are going to get better, or are we going to see contraction in the automotive business? Less models, less accessories, or maybe even less brands? What was the general gist of the show?
So I think there is a trend towards affordability, because affordability has become a huge issue, with cars costing an average of more than $50,000. The financial services industry is doing something that is kind of scary. They've been doing it in Canada for a while, but it's coming to the US, and that is 8-year car loans, which are dumb. I mean, getting an 8-year car loan is stupid. That's a terrible way to buy a car, because you're going to have it for probably 5 years past its warranty. And so you'll have car payments and repair payments at the same time. Not the way to lower your... A lot of
repossessions.
A lot of repossessions. You're paying a lot of interest for a longer period of time. It's just, 72-month loans are bad enough. 84 months is dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
That is not the way to, fill the affordability gap. And the way to do that is to get some less expensive cars. And we're seeing some of those. We're seeing some redos on some mainstream affordable cars like the Toyota RAV4, all new for 2026. They did a really nice job on it. Has fantastic infotainment. Cars like the Sentra are all new. There's a new Prelude coming out. The Prelude's coming back.
Saw that at the Seattle Auto Show. It just an impressive car. Honda. I think Honda's going to hit a home run with that. I mean, they always hit home runs, but I think they're really going to hit a home run with that car.
Yep, it's a hybrid. I'm a little concerned about the price tag, because the price tag's starting at $42, which is a little steep for that car, I think. But we'll see how it goes. It's cool to see the Prelude name come back, because when I started driving, the Prelude was the it car that everybody wanted, and I ended up with an Accord because I'm me.
Well, because you're John.
Yeah.
You don't follow the trend. You have something a little different. I thought it was a pretty car. It looked comfortable. It felt comfortable. It just seemed to be something that I don't know. It just looked like it would attract. It would be attractive without the nostalgia. And then you add the nostalgia into it of people that are our age that are maybe looking for a little younger than us, or you certainly, that are looking for a car. And bing, that name pops up, and their parents or their friends say, "Oh yeah, I had one of those. It was a great car back in '95 or 2000 or something like that."
Yep, it was. It because it's a hybrid. It has a nice electric boost off the line, so the performance is good. It's a fun little car. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I had a
Great.
chance to drive it in October, very early production model, and I was impressed.
Do you find when you drive the pre-production models and then you get into the production model for your week or with the car, that there's a lot of difference there, or any difference at all, or have you ever looked at one and said, "Wow, this is really kind of different in some ways from what I drove"?
Absolutely. The pre-production cars, they have a lot of squeaks and rattles because many of them are hand built. The infotainment oftentimes has errors and little glitches that you don't see in the final production model. So they use that time between pre-production and full production to iron all those little things out.
Yeah. So there's a marked difference in what we see sometimes early on and what actually hits the showroom. John Vincent from U.S. News and World Report, automotive editor, is joining us. It's good to see you, John. I haven't seen you in a while, man. So it's good to see your face.
It's been a while. I didn't make it to Seattle this year. A lot of stuff going on at U.S. News, so couldn't make it up there.
Good. I hope it's good stuff. The whole media landscape is seems like it's been in turmoil for like 10 years now.
Always in turmoil.
Yeah, it's the business because we cover turmoil, so it's natural that we'd be in turmoil too. I think. I mean, I don't know for sure, but because I kind of work in kind of a separate corner of the media business as you do. So we have our niche, and you hope that it's going to stay pretty much the same every year. And we can do what we do is tell people about cars and what they should look out for, what they should be expecting, what they should be buying, and what they should stay away from.
It's something I take really seriously. Is I'm helping people make one of the largest investments in their life. And that's what we do at U.S. News, is help people make those really critical decisions, providing, not just guesses, but research-based opinions on what they should buy and what they shouldn't buy.
And it's so much tougher these days because of social media and especially YouTube, because, people have been conditioned, I think, younger people over the past 10, 15 years, that if you're going to buy a car, go to YouTube and look at the reviews on YouTube or look at the automotive market. And there's so many, number one, AI generated crap that's out there. And number two, people who just, go to a car lot, but, go for a test drive, film it, put it up as a car review, and have no background in the business or background in comparing or and you hear their review and listen, I'm not here to knock anybody, but it does do a disservice, I think. It makes the consumer hopefully seek out people like us that know more about cars and that can give them not an AI generated opinion, but an actual, I drove it. This is what I thought was good about it. I read the spec sheets on it, and I think this is good on it, and this is bad on it. But the consumer really has a minefield to go through now.
Yep, you have to look at the outlet. I mean, U.S. News has been around for nearly 90 years, and we've taken a long time to build the credibility we have. We know we could lose it in a heartbeat if we make a misstep, so we do everything to protect that credibility, and I think we do a really good job.
Well, yeah, because you guys are one of the benchmarks of not just automotive, but hospitals and just a long line of consumer products along the line. That
colleges are where we do really well at our guides. We help a lot of people with our college guides.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's so if you do it the same way that you do those, which I would suspect with you there you do, because you're a serious guy with all the smiles and laughter and everything. John is a very serious, knowledgeable man when it comes to this kind of thing. Yeah, I would go to U.S. News. I always look at U.S. News when I get a car. I mean, it's one of the first things I do is I go down and I look at your guys' stuff to see okay, what should I be looking for? Because we all read each other's stuff. We all look at each other's stuff. And a lot of times I'll pick up things in the U.S. news stuff that maybe I didn't see. And because you also in your reviews look at other people's reviews, I believe. I mean, it's your review, but I mean, you have to take the temperature of the if you're doing this, I think, you can tell me I'm wrong or not, you have to take the temperature of the market through these reviews and through the credible websites like a Consumer's Report and U.S. News and Edmunds and different sites like that.
That is exactly what we do. We look at across the span of a lot of credible outlets, and we in our scoring model, our researchers look at those reviews and figure those reviews into our scoring model. So it's our opinions included, but we also include the opinions across the automotive press. So it washes out all those biases, and you get a solid consensus opinion on what a car is all about. That's not affected by, somebody just went to Europe with this automaker, so they're going to give it a great review.
And believe you me, that's listen, I haven't been on a trip in years, a program or anything like that. And it's kind of funny because I used to really get upset about it, but then I realized, hey, you know what? I don't have to kowtow to anybody. I don't have to say, hey, you know what? This is this and that's that. I write what I see, and so far hasn't been a problem. If a car is there's no pieces of junk out there, but there's a lot of cars that are over-engineered, that are too complicated, I think, for people, especially the infotainment systems that we talk about. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that if you own that car, if you get an 8-year loan on a car, you're going to need that time to figure out what all of those knobs and buttons do. And
yep.
And it can get a bit crazy at times. You were down in LA for the auto show. We talked about it last week. A lot of cool stuff down there. What was some of the things that you saw that you like? I heard the Corvette was off the charts. I don't know if it was the star of the show, but it certainly was a stand that attracted a lot of attention.
Yeah, the Corvette always gets a lot of attention, but the most important car in the LA Auto Show was the 2027 Kia Telluride by far. The Telluride really put Kia on the map as building a world-class car, and this 2027, the second generation of the Telluride, looks even better. I've driven its sister vehicle, the Hyundai Palisade, and the Palisade Hybrid. The Palisade Hybrid is probably the best SUV you can buy today. And the Telluride, when it comes out, it's on the same new platform, and it looks even better.
Oh, wow. For them to improve on any one of their cars, because they don't have a loser in the bunch, I don't think. I mean, everything that Hyundai and Kia seems to do, it just seems they're years ahead of everybody in everything that they're doing, whether they're making SUVs, whether they're making passenger cars. I mean, right now, if you want to buy a passenger car, you probably think Toyota first, but if you can't get a Toyota, where are you going?
The Hyundais and the Kias used to be thought of as second tier compared to Hondas and Toyotas. Not anymore. They're equal, or in some cases better. I'm actually going shopping this afternoon for a Kia.
Wow, that'll be a fun thing. When you walk into a dealership and the salesman or the sales manager sees you coming, do they just hide in the office? Just take what you want.
Try not to play that card, but.
Well, listen, these days you play whatever's going to get you a good deal and a credible experience. I mean, a car buying experience is crazy. What else at the LA Auto Show got you?
Jeep Recon.
I was just going to jump into SUVs and a few new ones out there.
Yep. We've been waiting a long. Well, I'm sorry.
You like the Recon, right?
I like the idea of the Recon a lot. We've been waiting for it for a long, long time. It's been promised for a long, long time. And the car that came out is very different than I thought it was going to be. It's much larger. It's Grand Cherokee size. Its capability looks fantastic. Range, not so much, but it's on massive, aggressive tires, so that that's going to kill its range.
Yeah.
But fully electric, 600 plus horsepower. It's a cool thing that doors come off, roof panels come off. So it's all Jeep. Looks like it's going to have great capability. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's the thing is what Jeep does and does so well. I think still, and you can argue about some of the stuff they've done, but there's not a Jeep you drive these days that's not it does have a little fun factor built into it. I mean, they seem to, even the Cherokee, the new Cherokee that's come out. It's like a kind of an SUV thing, but it's still kind of fun to drive that, the squared up body and everything, kind of reminiscent of the old Cherokee that I used to love so much, that square body Cherokee. Those are fun, good, solid vehicles.
So I saw the new Cherokee for the first time, in the metal down there. I've seen pictures of it. I've seen stories. Seeing it in person, it looks really good. And we were talking about affordability, and I think that's going to be a pretty affordable little car or little SUV. It looks good.
Yeah, because Jeep is one of those companies that have kind of, I don't want to say lost their way, but to go into the showroom and have to plunk down 90 grand for a Jeep or 80 grand or something like that, I think it turns some people off. I think there's people that say maybe just a little more than I want to spend for that particular type of vehicle, which for a lot of people can be a second vehicle sometimes.
I think they got awfully proud of their vehicles. And they were ahead of the market in doing that. Their pricing got way high. I think they've done some things to correct that. When you see incentives available all the time, they have a pricing issue, and that's what we're seeing.
And what about quality? I mean, I've noticed that the quality on the Jeep has. I mean, they hit a little bit of some bumps there. It seems to me like they've straightened it out. For the most part, may still be some issues, but
I'm the wrong person to ask that question right now.
Okay, I won't say it. That we'll leave that there.
Yeah.
How does somebody though? If they want to check out, I mean, you go to Consumer Reports. Do you go to? If you want to check out a car and it's that kind of information, where does somebody go to find that?
A couple of places. JD Power information is always good. But if you want direct information on what's happening on the ground with real owners, search for the users group for that car. Every car out there has places on the internet where people gather to talk about that car. Say you have a Grand Cherokee, there are probably 10 Facebook groups that talk about Grand Cherokees. And you'll see what people are facing. You'll see what dealers to go to buy them, because some dealers are better at selling some cars than others. Right. Just by watching the tone of the conversations. It's fascinating to watch.
Right. That's a great suggestion. It doesn't always have to come from, we talked a little bit before about social media where it can be rough. There's also places that social media can really help you out. And I think that's a place where you can dive in and see what, the real time on the ground, as you said, action is. We're both fans of Lucid, and they have rolled out their SUV. Did you get a chance to look at that and play with that a little bit? Or
I have. I actually had a short chance to drive that. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get another one to drive. The Gravity is the only car in U.S. News's rankings right now that has a perfect 10.
Wow.
And I know some outlets have had some issues with theirs, some technical issues with theirs. We did not. The Gravity it's expensive. I mean, it's 122 is what you're going to spend on the current Gravity that's out. They have a lower cost one coming out. It's a big car. It's very much like a cross between an SUV and a minivan, but like all Lucids, it's very fast and has spectacular range.
Wow, that's a the original Lucid sedans. I mean, I remember we both have driven those in a couple of different events, and
I have one in my garage right now.
yeah, it's just a stunning vehicle.
It is.
It's one that I don't know how they got it right, but with the exception of if I was going to buy a high-end Tesla, I would not buy it and sign any papers until I went to a Lucid showroom and took a look at that, because it's just a stunning car in every. There's not a category where it doesn't check the boxes.
The Lucid Air sedan is a better Tesla Model S than the Model S in every way. It's that good. It's not on many people's radar because it's still a small car company, but it is really good. Really good.
Wow.
I've been doing this for a while. It's tough to impress me. That car impresses me.
Yeah, that's. I remember 2 years ago when the first time I drove one, and I was just wow. You drove it down the street, and it was a otherworldly experience. In that the way it handled, the way it presented itself, the way it drove, the way it parked. I mean, it was all of the functions that you do with a car. This car did it well, did it great, not even well, did it great. And now, is there any plans for Lucid to bring out a vehicle that's going to go into the bit more affordable range?
Yep, that is the next thing on their map. First it was the sedan. They just got the Gravity SUV out, and now the company is focused on their smaller, less expensive models.
And I'm thinking that as with Rivian, who's also focusing in that area, and Tesla that has focused in that area, that there's a lot that they're going to learn from these more expensive models, a lot that they're going to be able to figure out, so that when they build, much as with Mazda, they build a little bit of sports car into every one of their SUVs. Lucid and Rivian are going to build a little bit of their more expensive models into their less expensive models, so that that DNA. Genesis is another company that I think has been able to do that. Benefit from the higher end models and bring some of that stuff into the lower end models.
Yep. Genesis, wow, what a success story that is. I mean,
Yeah.
they're building cars that are the quality of BMW and Mercedes for far less money. They're hitting it out of the park, everything they do. I mean, I have, maybe one misstep from them, but everything else has been fantastic.
Yeah, I've loved everything I've ever driven from. I don't think I've driven a bad, not even bad. I mean, just a car that didn't meet that standard of a luxury car from them. And considering that it was a top line Hyundai 10 years ago, that may be their biggest success story out of all of them, the way they've transformed that model name into this vehicle. It's really, that it's a desirable. It's not like, well, I can't really afford a BMW or I can't really afford a Mercedes, so I'll go look at a Genesis. No. You're going to look. You're shopping a Genesis now, equal to or before you're shopping those other cars. I think I know people that I know that have bought one or gone to look at one.
And the more standalone Genesis dealers that they get that are separate from the Hyundai dealers, the better that company's going to do, because some people just don't want to go buy a luxury car from a Hyundai dealer.
Right.
But that's changing. They're getting their own stores. providing that luxury car experience throughout the process.
And they showed off a performance, like similar to BMW with the M or Mercedes with the AMG. Is that a direction that they're, I guess, really serious about going? Is to really kind of separate their performance vehicles out, much as Hyundai has done with the N series of vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called Magma, and the concepts they've shown so far have always been in the magma orange color and look spectacular. They're finally coming out with production versions. There's one car that's never going to make it to the United States, but I just wish they would bring it here just to let me play with. They have this G80 Magma that they're only going to sell in the Middle East, but it looks amazing. But we're going to see the GB60 Magma come out first, the electric high performance model, which should be a hoot to drive.
Where are we with electric cars right now? We lost the tax incentives, but the manufacturers are trying to make it up in some shape, manner, or form. Are we just going to see more investment in hybrid technology right now, or are we going to go to a point where, the electrics are here to stay; they're not going anywhere. But are we going to take money away from that and put it somewhere else, or are they going to continue the development curve of electrics and batteries and everything that's going on?
So right now in the U.S., we are at a kind of a pause in electric vehicle development and manufacturing, and no other way to say it because of the political climate. The rest of the world is still going full bore on electric vehicles. Unfortunately, the U.S. is falling further and further behind because of this pause. But we're also going to see more of a blend of hybrids and plug-in hybrids kind of in this gap period. The gasoline engine is not dead. Won't be for a long, long time. There are some things that EVs just don't do well, like towing.
Right.
But if you've driven an EV, you learn quickly that the driving experience of driving an EV is superior in almost every way to driving a gas car.
Yeah.
And once people get exposed to that, it's hard to go back. Charging infrastructure is still an issue, will be for a while, just like it was when we first adopted gasoline cars in the early 20th century.
You bought your gasoline at a drugstore.
You had to go to the pharmacy to get a gallon of what became gasoline. EV charging's the same way. There are some challenges with people who are in multifamily housing, apartment buildings and condos, having consistent access to the chargers because fast charging is prohibitively expensive for owners. It's great for road trips, but you don't want to do it every day.
Right.
But if you have a home charger or access to a normal level 2 charger at your home, EVs are fantastic. You wake up every morning and you have a full tank of gas.
I saw something the other day that piqued my interest when it came to electric cars, and that was a company that was putting together, I guess it's going to come out first on the West Coast, putting together the idea that they have a mobile unit that's going to go around at night for people to park their car on the street and charge their cars. I was trying to think of how you could make that work because it's going to have to be expensive to do. But yet, if you're that wanting of an electric vehicle, or if you get into a situation where you don't have a charger and you start to run out of power, and you need to call somebody and say, "Hey, I can't get to the charger. Can you come out and charge me?"
That's existed already. AAA's had that for the last several years, a mobile charging unit that can come out and get you going again. The overnight mobile charging, it just seems like an answer to a problem that there are much easier answers to. If you go to Europe, they have on streetlight poles, they have charging stations. And so you can parallel park on the city streets, plug in right there. They don't have the problem in the US like we do where people steal the cords because you plug into their charging stations.
Right.
So you carry your own cord and plug into your car.
And folks, I know this from being a kid and being able to plug in my boombox to the bottom of a lamppost. The electric source is there. All I'd have to do is put some kind of adapter so you can take your car and, plug it in. It's
Absolutely.
Plug my boombox into the base of the light pole. You just had to know how to take that little plate off and plug it in. So that's that. Well, that's good because as you know, I mean, I'm a big fan of electric. I've been an advocate of electric cars. I think in places, especially like Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, places that there can be charging stations in a lot of different places, and your average trip isn't going to be 500 miles a day. You're taking short trips. I mean, the savings, just the dollar savings alone, and the savings in environmental damage that the internal combustion engine does. And even though we're moving toward, I mean, it seems like everybody's gone to 4-cylinder turbo in the business, or most people, and rightly so. I mean, it delivers much horsepower and torque as a V8 of 10 or 15 years ago. The electrics are a wise idea for that market.
Yep, they are. You and I have driven a lot of electrics, so when you and I are talking to each other, we're preaching to the choir. What we need to do is get more people into electric cars to experience them, and once they do, the calculus changes. We have low gas prices right now, and so people aren't as interested in that. But if gas prices go up $1 or $2 a gallon, which a world event could cause them to do, we're going to see a lot more interest in EVs.
Has the change in administration done a lot of damage to EVs, or is this a correction that was probably just going to happen anyway?
I think the current political climate has done serious damage to to EVs and the EV movement, partially by making it politicized when it never should have been politicized in the first place. When you see people damaging and vandalizing other people's electric cars just because they're electric, because people have a different idea than they do, that's not what we're really supposed to be all about.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't want to go into a long political discussion, but it's really hopefully that'll change because as I think, and I think you're on board with me on this, it's just we're the losers. The public, the people that want to drive cars, the people that want to drive a less expensive, a less maintenance car, a car that takes less of a toll, not just on the environment, but just on somebody driving it. That they're I think they're more relaxing cars to drive.
So here's the thing about the U.S. buyer. The U.S. buyer, unlike a lot of buyers around the world, we buy the car for something that we may do someday. We don't buy the car for what we do on Monday through Friday. We want an electric car that can go 500 miles on a single charge, where you're not going to drive 500 miles on one stint without taking a 30-minute break. You just don't do that. We expect an electric car to be a Swiss Army knife and do everything, when we don't have a gasoline car that can do that.
Right.
The expectations have to be a little bit more realistic about what it is and what it can do.
And let's face it, when we were younger, when we were coming up in the car business and first driving cars, you didn't expect as much out of it. Now you want your car to be a business lounge. You want your car to be something you can sleep in. You want your car to relax you. You want so many different things out of your car, your truck, your SUV, whatever it is that your preference is. I mean, we were coming up, you got a pickup truck, it had a radio and a heater, and that was it. Now, you peek into the cab of a Silverado or of a Ford F-150 or even the cheapest trucks, and it's your living room in there. And my dad's 53 International B1000 never looked like that.
No, it did not.
It had a steering wheel. It was the size. The steering wheel was a 16-inch size tire. It was crazy.
I gotta tell you this story. So last week while I was in Los Angeles, I was down at Honda's headquarters, and the guy who heads up their Heritage Center down there, coolest guy on the planet, guy named Carl Poli.
Yeah. Carl was our guy up here for.
Yep, Carl was up here for a while. He pulled a car off their museum floor and let me drive it, and it was my first car. It was the 1983 Honda Accord.
Wow.
Same color. The only difference was the one from the museum was a manual instead of an automatic. I drove this car. I gotta say, it was, one of the best experiences of my career. Just going back, driving my first car. I was thinking ahead of time, am I going to love this or I'm going to just hate this and realize all of the things that this car did badly? It was fantastic. But huge steering wheel in a Honda, and the steering wheel was, the diameter of my thumb, when the new steering wheels are, an inch or more in diameter. I just had a blast. I put some miles on this car that day, and just, it was so much fun. 83 Honda Accord. And it's really hard to imagine that 2026 will mark the 50th anniversary of the Honda Accord.
Wow. Now I feel old, man. I mean, when I see that, I just start to say, wow, man, I've been around a long time and seen a lot. I had a similar experience. It wasn't my first car, but I went to a Chrysler event at the Walter P. Chrysler Museum when I was living back in Pittsburgh. And I didn't get a chance to take it out and drive it, but I got a chance to move the turbine car. Now, when I was 10 years old, that was the bitch. That was the car, man. That was the thing that all cars in the future, it wasn't the Jetsons car. If you read car magazines, the Chrysler turbine was going to be the future.
Oh, absolutely it was.
And It was just, I almost cried. And I drove it from where they had it sitting out to the garage, which is, I don't know, maybe not even a quarter of a mile. But just to sit in it and move it. And I remember drooling at the 64, 65 World's Fair in looking at that car. And I remember I saw one actually driving on Northern Boulevard in person when I was, past my father's gas station when I was like 10 years old. And I was like, Daddy, you got to see this.
You got to see this, and you got to hear that car.
Oh, it's intense. It's got a whine that's like nothing else you'll ever hear. You really think you're taking off in a rocket.
Well, essentially, it's a jet.
Yeah. And it was amazing to me that they took those cars and actually gave them to people. Not give them, but they leased them out to people. You could actually go to a Chrysler showroom and apply to get one. And I forget how many there were, a couple of thousand, I think, or maybe not even that many. Maybe it was 1,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was a very, very low number.
Yeah, but there were people driving those things out in Iowa and in New York City and in Florida and all different places. And I don't think Lyndon B. Johnson said, "Don't buy one of those turbines; it'll turn you into a."
Yeah, exactly.
John, it's so good to talk to you. I know it's been a while. And let's not let it be so long. You get up here to Seattle sometime, or when I come down there, let's go ahead and grab dinner or something, man. It's,
Absolutely. Let's do that. And let's get me back on the show. It's kind of awards season. So in January, we'll have the U.S. News Best Cars for the Money Awards. Which
let's set a date for that. Let's when do those come out?
I think the third week in January.
Let's make sure that we have you on the third week in January and get those out there to people. One more thing, when you said the awards, you remind me, you had something, or U.S. News and World Report had something, which is you, about the 10, was it the 10 worst cars ever made or the 10 ugliest cars ever made?
Did we? I haven't seen that. I try and focus on the positive stuff.
Pulled it up. But it was a fascinating article. Next time we talk, I'll have to pull it up and we'll see if we agree with the list. But
let me guess. I don't even have to look. Pontiac Aztec was on that list.
Hey, I just found, I don't know, I posted it because I was so enthralled that I found it. I found a Pontiac Aztec Hot Wheels.
Wow.
It was just sitting there in the store, in the rack of Hot Wheels. And it is one car that I had promised myself before I shuffle off this mortal coil, I'm going to own. I want to own a Pontiac. I want to find a nice one, and I want to own that car at least for a couple of months, just to experience a car that I think got a bad rap.
It did. We were going through some stuff in the house the other day, and I came across from the launch event a Pontiac Aztec fanny pack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of that, because if I buy that Aztec, I'm calling you.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I may open the Aztec Fierro Museum. How would that be?
Ooh. Yeah, you'll get about 5 or 6 visitors, I think.
Yeah, and if I throw a GTO in there for like an 80, like a 99, or what was it? I guess 2007 GTO, would that maybe get a couple more?
I think you might need to expand it by a couple brands and then get a Murano Cross Cabrio in there.
Oh man, there's somebody in the neighborhood that has one.
Yeah,
I got to get him to let me drive it sometime. John, good to see you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. And if I don't talk to you before, Merry Christmas. And if we don't have you on before, we'll definitely have you on for the U.S. News and World reports. And you're also a World Car juror also, right?
Not World Car. I'm a North American Car and Truck and
Truck of the Year. Right.
Juror.
Yes.
So NACTOY is what we call it.
Yes. Which you're going to recommend me for, I know, some year. John, take care of yourself, man. Good to see you, pal.
Thanks, Vinnie.
All right. John Vincent joining us from U.S. News and World Report. You can always jump on the internet and find his stuff there. And if you're going to buy a car, he's the guy that you want to check out his review. I mean, I check out mine too, but he goes, I give you, when I do a car, I give you the guy next door kind of review. I give you the seat of the pants review. People that, guys like John, they have the space and the time with a magazine and internet article, so on and so forth, to really delve into some of this stuff, and give you stats and give you figures. Listen, basically, they're much smarter than I am. They can do all of those stats and everything and make it all make sense to you. Where sometimes, I'm giving you, it feels good to drive. It reminds me of this. It has good power. It has good handling. I'm giving you more the guy next door, the guy down the block that knows about cars, and you would ask him if you were going to go buy a car. Hey, you got 10 minutes or 15 minutes to go with me to a dealer and take a look at a couple of cars that I'm thinking of buying. That's my thing, and I don't profess to be any more than that, to be honest with you. But I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've helped a lot of people buy a lot of cars. I've gone in with people and helped them negotiate deals, and I've gone with people and said, hey, you know what? Stay away from that car. Because I do the research, and look at these and read an unbelievable amount of information about these cars, and not YouTube. I do look at YouTube, but not just YouTube. And if it sounds like it's AI, I don't even bother with it. By the way, I did want to want you to remember that this program is sponsored by my good friend George Jackson and George Jackson Promotions. There is still time if you are looking to buy promotional items for your business, for gifts for your employees. I mean, people I know don't hand out bonuses anymore. But geez, can you get hurt giving your employees a pen and pencil set, or a iPhone cover or something like that with your name imprinted on it? Could you really get hurt doing that kind of thing? No. A power bank it goes on the back of the phone so they have extra power to go to their phone. Could you get hurt doing that? No. So get in contact with my friend George Jackson at George Jackson Promotions. He will price it out for you. He'll tell you what's in your range. You tell him how much you want to spend. And maybe, you can have your employees or the people that work for you or your customers walk away this holiday season with a little something in their hands that reminds them of you the next time they want to buy something that you sell. It's a simple equation. Or the next time you have somebody, again, a lot of people don't hand out Christmas bonuses anymore, but people do remember when you give them a small tchotchke, a small something that says, I appreciate you. GJ Promo is the place you can find it on the internet, gjpromo.com. Do yourself a favor and check out George. And if you're thinking about those kinds of awards, those kinds of items, he is the guy to see. He will without a doubt take care of you, especially if you tell him that I sent you. He is that kind of guy. A good man. A good man. Let's see. Where are we going here? Oh, yes. I wanted to remind you, I know that there are a number of you out there that are, oh, yes. What are you doing? There's a few things that you're doing out there. And one of those things that you're doing is going to Cars and Coffee. We see it much more these days. We see the Cars and Coffee. We see that people are showing up at these events. I always talk about Shoreline Cars and Coffee. Well, if you're in the Edmonds area or anywhere really, and you're looking for a Cars and Coffee, there is a new Cars and Coffee that is coming up. And it's going to start next week here in Edmonds, 9 to 11 a.m. It's the inaugural launch and ribbon cutting of the Edmonds Cars and Coffee. It is going to be taking place at the Salish Crossings parking lot, which is at 910 Sunset Avenue in Edmonds, right there down by the ferry building there. It'll go the first and third Sunday, so it's not going to be an every week Cars and Coffee, but it'll go to first and third Sundays, 9 to 11 a.m., April through September. So if you go to Shoreline Cars and Coffee, you can maybe alternate with this one. And kind of enjoy a different crowd. Not that the crowd over at the other Cars and Coffee is a grand bunch of people. But I think, the more exposure you can get to the Cars and Coffee scene, the more people that you can get to know that are in the hobby, the cooler it is. The cooler it makes it for all of us. So again, and I'll put this up on our website, our Facebook page, first and third Sundays, 9 to 11 a.m., April through September, but they are doing an inaugural one this coming Saturday, December 6th, from 9 to 11 a.m. And, Edmonds is my home court. So, by the way, they're also going to the first 100 attendees who donate a new unwrapped toy will get a free donut from Top Pot and coffee. Henceforth, the name Cards and Coffee. So you should definitely go check it out and enjoy it. It'll be as I say, I think it'll be a fun time for all. It's I think going to be a good bunch of people, and yeah, I think it'll be a fun thing. And I'm actually going to see if I can put this up so you can copy it down. Put it up so you can copy it down. Does that work? Yeah, it works. Put it up so you can copy it down. But this is the Cars and Coffee sign. That's well, we're trying to get it up there, but for some reason it's just not taking. But it's the Edmonds Cars and Coffee. And again, next week is when they start this thing. It'll be a ton of fun. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I did this week, and I think that if you are a senior, well, you are a disabled person that drives the car, that this is something that you should be taking advantage of. It's one of those perks we get for living in this wonderful place called Washington State. And it is the Washington State Parks Pass, the Discover Pass for seniors and disabled people. If you fall into one of those categories, a disabled, a person who may have some mobility problems, may have any kind of accredited disability that you get a parking pass for, will get you a permanently disabled parking pass, not the red one, but the blue one, will qualify you for a pass that allows you to go to any state park for free. You don't have to pay the entry fee. There are also considerable discounts for camping, for boat docking and moorage fees and things like that. I think it's up to 50% off on camping fees. And use of special sites that they have set up, cabins and such that they've set up for disabled people. I know that there are cabins like that up at up at Camino Beach, Camino Island State Park. Excuse me. And there's some pretty neat cabins up there that are available and that are reserved for disabled people. And so if you can take advantage of this, just go on the Washington State Parks website, click on Discover Pass, and you will see the qualifications, how to get them. Well, it's such a simple process. You go on your computer, you can fill out the application right online, send it in with the information that they require. And in a week or two, I think it took me 2 weeks to get my pass back. And I'm stoked about it because I'm a person that loves the Washington State Park. I think it's one of the best forms of entertainment that we have here at a great price. The Washington State Park system is one of the best in the country. And there are just incredible places to camp, places to go with your car, places that you, even as somebody who is challenged, mobility challenged as I am, can go and enjoy the bounty that we have in this state when it comes to state parks. Now, I know a lot of people have the federal pass, the national parks pass, that's also given to seniors and disabled people, which is a great pass. This pass from Washington State Parks entitles you to use the state parks. You cannot use that federal pass in a state park, but you can use that state pass in all the state parks. And again, it entitles you to some incredible discounts for some really groovy things. And if you like to get outdoors, you like to go hiking, you like just to do like I do. I go to Cavano Island Beach and I just sit there and watch the water, watch the people, watch people enjoying it. It's a great relief from all of the stuff that we have to deal with these days. I mean, there is so much that we are dealing with in our lives these days. And I just think if you can, if you can get away and you can get out into nature and you can, just kind of get away from it all a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great thing. And I think that we all could use a little, listen, we all could use a little sitting by a waterfall for a half hour and just concentrating and meditating and trying to see and tune ourselves into some of the things that are going on in nature. And it takes your mind away from so much of this insanity that we see in the world today. So I'm just saying that it would be for some reason crashed as we started the show. So I'm trying to rebuild the show as I go along. This next feature is one that we do all the time. You know it. It's called Yo, Vinnie. What are you driving this week? And this week, I got a chance to, and we'll have it here in just a second for you, hopefully. Get to click over to. I'm just downloading it into the MacBook Pro right now, and I should be there in a second. And hopefully we will be able to play it for you. It's just a little look at this week's Drivetime radio road test car that I am driving, which is one that I thoroughly enjoy. Well, last week we had the Audi A6 e-tron. And that was a pretty wild car. And I'm going to do a full review on that next week. I have some stuff I really want to research on that car. Not that I don't research all of them, but really a good idea to research. But this car really that
You're getting itchy in the pants.
kind of blew me away. So if you get a chance, we'll get a chance, tune in for that. But this one is, I'm a big Mazda fan. Thank you. I'm a big Mazda fan. And this week's Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? Brings us back to the Mazda garage. And we get a chance to spend a little time in that Mazda, the 2025 Mazda CX-50. And what I like about this car, number one, is that it's a hybrid. It's the CX-50 hybrid. And it brings you some incredible gas mileage, gas and electric mileage, I guess. And is that one of the interesting things about this is that it again, sorry, we're just trying to make all of these things come together for you. We're just running a little bit crazy this morning. Yeah. All right, I think that has it now. Thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it. Anyway, this is the Mazda CX-50 hybrid, and now John was talking about the new RAV4 hybrid. If you want a RAV4 hybrid, you virtually can't get one, or you're going to pay a phenomenal amount of money over what it should be at almost any dealer. They're great cars. They're the number one car in America. They can sell all that they print. And it's a vehicle that is just so popular that it's a little crazy how popular it is. But it's popular because it's a good vehicle. It gets incredible gas mileage. It's a Toyota. But if you can't, for some reason, get a RAV4, the CX-50 gives you some off-road chops, gives you more ground clearance, gives you, I think, a more luxurious interior than the Toyota. And again, I don't want to pit one against the other. But what I am saying is if you're shopping the RAV4 and you're having difficulty getting one, or even if you're not having difficulty getting one, take a look at this Mazda, because I think there's things about this Mazda that while that are just as good as the RAV4. The size, it's a little smaller on the inside, the cargo area, the back seat a little bit smaller, but yet it fits 5 people comfortably. I drove 5 people around all week in this car, and it touched on all of the cues. It really hit everything in comfort, in seat heating in the back and everything. It just worked spectacularly. You can see there the higher clearance on this car, that the car gives you a lot more clearance. You get the cladding if you like the cladding. If you're a Subaru and you like the cladding, it's got the cladding. So you don't miss out on the cladding, because if you miss out on the cladding, you don't get the cladding, you might be upset. But you have the higher ground clearance. You have the inexplicable joy of driving a Mazda. There's something about Mazda and the way they bake in the sports car handling DNA into even their SUVs. It is a well-handling car. And again, don't go. You're not going to go on a racetrack with the car, but the CX-50 hybrid is going to give you a good, solid connection with the road. You're going to feel, and when you put it into, it's got 3 modes. When you put it into sport and you feel that kick in, that sport mode, you're really going to feel it connect with the road even a little bit better. Plenty of room in the back. The rear seats obviously fold down. You can fit plenty of cargo in there, especially if you fold those back seats down. As you can see, you can fit a lot of stuff in there from Costco. I fit a table in there last night that I was bringing back. I got a new desk for the Drivetime show here that I sit at, and it was a really, really good fit. This thing fit in there, so everything slides in there. If you're a garage sale person like I am, this is a car that's going to make you happy. We're going to take a look inside here in a second, and as I said, the interior in this car is, I mean, it's all luxury. It's a black leather type interior. You have, I think it's a 12 something screen in the information center. It's not the greatest infotainment center, but it is adequate. It does the job. You know, it's not like the Audi where there are 3 screens and it can give you a look through Google Maps at exactly Google Earth at exactly how this looks and that looks and the other thing looks. It's not gonna do that. But the sunroof is incredible. This thing goes like the length of the front and rear seats, and almost into the back section. It's a large sunroof that I could imagine in the summer is going to give you quite an open air feeling in this car. Yet you have a brace that goes across the center of the roof so that you can feel a little bit more. There's my friend, the Rat and the Saint. They are wishing you a Merry Christmas. You can see the hybrid. It has a one-pedal operation that you can have. You put it into power or you put it into normal, but I like to drive it in power to see how much power and that little 4-cylinder turbo matched up to the 3 electric motors in there give you some oomph. The only downside maybe is that it has a CVT. And I am not enamored of a CVT, but if you're not, they're very, very, very improved, the CVT, the continuously variable transmission. I think they're much better than they were when they first brought them out years ago. And I think the Mazda engineers do a nice job of making this one fit the vehicle. You have, again, nice materials, an interior that hits well above its average. The black leather and kind of brown orange stitching is very visually pleasing. There's decent leg room in the back if you're a backseat passenger in this car. You're not getting crammed up against the seat. I drive with my seat back a lot. And again, this vehicle gives you enough room. Get 38 miles per gallon combined. With the hybrid, I think you get somewhere in the area of 300 and change horsepower with the hybrid. And excuse me, I think it's that's the 219 horsepower. With the CVT and everything, 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, 3 electric motors, as I said. It adds a little weight, so it may not handle as well as the gasoline engine model, or the ICE engine alone, but it handles well. It gives you, again, as I said before, good ground clearance. You can feel comfortable about taking this car aggressively off the road, and through fields. And I mean, I wouldn't go rock climbing with it, but if you go into that cabin and you got to go over the off-road thing, or take it to the off-road park and have a little fun with it on some of the lighter tracks, I think that this vehicle is going to keep you very happy in that. So we'll have a full review of it in a few weeks, but this is what I'm driving this week. And again, I couldn't be happier with this car. And it was interesting getting into this car after last week driving the A6 e-tron, because you went from a car that it felt like every bolt and nut on the car was engineered to do something. Like every piece of this car performed in the A6 e-tron. A great car, don't get me wrong, but it was like it almost felt like it had a lot more than it needed to. This particular car, this Mazda CX-50 hybrid, has exactly what it needs to do. I always like to say it does what it's designed to do. It is designed to give you great gas mileage. It is designed to help you feel like you're doing something environmentally by saving gas. It is gives you a feeling and knowledge that your passengers are comfortable on trips driving this thing. It hauls a lot of stuff around that you need to haul around. And one of the things that I like is that and I know there's an increasing number of Mazdas out there, but it's still not a car that everybody else is driving. So I like that component of it as well. I like to drive something a little bit different, which means I probably should be driving a Mitsubishi because those cars are a little bit different and they're nice. They're good cars. So that is the Mazda MX-50, CX-50. I think Mazda has a winner here, and as I say, we'll give it a full review in a couple of weeks, and you'll get a chance to get my thoughts on it as we put some mileage and take it up and off-road a little bit and get a chance to play with it a little bit more, which is something I love to do. I love to play with cars. All right. It's been a great show, an interesting show. Sorry again. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but we made it through it. I'm glad that you stuck with me. I see a lot of people stuck with me today, and I really do appreciate that. We're here every week, Saturday morning at 11 o'clock or thereabouts, and we talk cars. We have knowledgeable guests. We review cars. We take a look inside of those cars. We give you driving impression of those cars. And we also show you some of the best stuff. Oh, one more thing. I know it's that time of year. 3 great displays that you got to know about. If you're throwing the kids in the car and you're saying to yourself, where am I going to take the kids where they can see lights? Where am I going to take the kids where they can see Christmas lights? The kids want to see Christmas lights. Well, of course, you take them downtown to the old Bon Marché building there, and you look at the star, and that's a beautiful thing. But there are 2 other places. In West Seattle on Shore Drive there, the Menashe House, owned, of course, by Josh Menashe and his father, Jack Menashe. And their display is incredible. And it's been a tough years for the Menashe family. They, I'm sure you saw on media, were held up in broad daylight and, just terrible. But they are wonderful, wonderful people. And for years now, they have been putting up a display at their house, which you can see from outer space. So if you get a chance to go over to West Seattle and take a ride out there, and if you can't find it, just ask anybody where the Menashe light display is, and they will point you. You'll see the cars going there. It is an incredible, incredible display. Number 2, of course, is Candy Cane Lane, which is in Ravenna. Not to be missed. Every year they come up with a winner. This year will be no exception. It's just a place where, it just feels like it's a spot in the world where people don't argue. They just enjoy themselves. And don't we need a little of that this time of year? Not to argue with other people, but just enjoy the Christmas lights. And the third place that I wanted to tell you about, and this is a don't miss. The Tulalip Casino and Hotel up in Marysville this is several years now that they're doing this light display. And this one is so good on so many levels. Number one, the lights are fantastic. I truly believe that there's lights on every tree. I don't think there's a tree that doesn't have lights on it. It's truly a spectacular display of lights, and I was blown away with how incredible it was. So if you get a chance to head up there, but that's number one. Number two is the fact that they have ice skating, they have refreshment stands, hot chocolate, food trucks. So you can go there and park the car. It's free. You don't pay anything for it. You can go there and park the car, take the kids out of the car, walk around. You can um, pose with some of the different animals that they have, and do that, and that's pretty awesome. You can see a lot there. As a matter of fact, I think here in a second we'll have. Um, oh, it just went away. Hang on. Anyway, uh, yeah, it's just it's a fun time. You won't regret that you went. I guarantee you that you will not regret that you headed up to the Tulalip. And again, what I like about the Tulalip is that you, whether you're in the car and you got grandma in the car, or grandpa in the car, or uncle that can't walk anymore like me, you can go through this thing. You don't have to get out of the car. You can drive through it, and you will get just as good an effect of the lights as you would otherwise. So the Tulalip Tribe has really done a great job at making this thing accessible for all people. Number two, they have ice skating there. You can make reservations and get out there and go ice skating, which I think is a wonderful thing. You know, I can't ice skate anymore, but there was a day. There was a day, kids, when we got to. Oh, this is my beautiful sister, and she is that's just my sister standing next to the polar bear. They have all these animals that they've constructed with lights and displays and stuff like that, and that's really cool. The polar bear is really cool, and my sister's really cool too, and also. Um, you can eat there. You can take the kids. They have the lights on all night. So if you get there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the lights are going to be on. If you take the kids late at night, you can go there. And the other thing I liked about it, I really noticed this. I don't know why this is, but I just thought, and this is a credit to maybe the way they run people through this thing, the way that they have set this up. The people there, both the staff that works there and just the people that go and watch this thing and walk through it and drive through it, just seem to be some of the most courteous people I have encountered since I've moved back to Seattle. You know, there are a lot of places you go where people are just plumb out of their minds. They're cutting each other off and this, and that, and the other thing, especially when it comes to having cars involved. I got to give props to the people at the Muckleshoot Casino. Excuse me, I'll give them props too, at the Tulalip Casino. They really have done an incredible job of setting this thing up so you can drive through it. People don't cut each other off. They wave to each other. They let them go through. It just had a friendly feeling about it. And it was really an enjoyable couple of hours just hanging out, taking pictures is easy. It was so cool. There was a lot of people that just would hold, here, you tell them, here, get with your family and I'll take a picture. And then they would do the same thing for you. So it just really impressed me as to how nice people were, how much in the holiday spirit people were. So the Tulalip people have really done a spectacular job up there. It's if you've ever been to a concert up there, a lot of it is right where the concerts are. And if you've been to one of their concerts, you know that they do a great job as well. So if you get a chance, as I say, it's the great thing about it is it doesn't cost you any money, man. It's free. No charge for parking. No, if you can keep out of the casino, it really doesn't cost you anything. But and I did. I managed to keep myself out of the casino. So I thought it was a win-win for everybody involved. But those are just 3 places you can go. We'll have a list of some more places that are great to go see lights. We'll have some places down in the South Sound and some other places. And also, you know, a lot of people this time of year are doing a lot of things to help get toys into the hands of kids that may not have them. There's a lot of these cars and coffees that are collecting toys, a lot of these cars and coffees that are helping out with the distribution of toys. But do yourself a favor. If you're going to one of these events, you know, go look up on Facebook. There's a ton of them. Just put cars and coffee in your town into the search of Facebook, and it'll tell you where a gazillion of these things are. And get a toy, drop it off so that people have a little something for Christmas. Please. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate you listening. And I especially appreciate you listening to the show. This is a labor of love for me and the people involved in putting it together. And this is the time of year I like to thank them. You know, my daughter who helps with production of the show and helps me hold cameras and stuff. My friend producer Nathan, who doesn't produce the show anymore, but he's still a good part of the show. My dear friend George Jackson, who sponsors the show with George Jackson Promotions, GJ Promotion, GJPromo.com. As I said, there's still time for him to get stuff for you to give to your employees, to give to friends as presents with your imprint on them for Christmas. Check him out at GJPromo.com. He's a good guy, and you should be, if you're in the market for that kind of stuff, do business with him because he makes this show possible throughout the year, not just at Christmas time, but throughout the year. I thank all of our guests that come on the show, the people at the Seattle Auto Show and the Washington State Dealers Association, who also sponsor this show. They are a wonderful group of people. They sponsor a few weeks of the show around the auto show. And most of all, thank you, the people that are listening to the show. I really appreciate it. A lot of people say to me, why do you do a show? You know, you can't be making a lot of money doing the show. Why bother? It's because, and, I've tried to explain this to every boss that I've ever had in the radio business. I'm a radio guy. I love entertaining people. And I love the fact that you get entertained by me doing this show. So I really do appreciate that. And so I show up here every Saturday or most Saturdays and put a show together for you during the week and try to have guests, try to advise you on cars and what's good and what's not good. And through that, hopefully entertain you for an hour of your life each week. So I appreciate that. If you appreciate the show, please go to our YouTube channel at goldenvmedia.com and click on like and click on subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I really could use your help. Okay? All right. That will put this show on the shelf for this week. Thank you again so much for participating, for listening, for watching, for taking notes, and doing whatever you do that you do so well. Kevin Calabro. Voodoo. You do so well. We'll catch up with you next week. at 11 o'clock, if the Lord's willing, and the creek don't rise. And don't forget Mikey and Vinnie, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 10:10. We're here almost every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, entertaining you, I hope, and hoping that you'll get a little something out of what we're doing. All right? All right. As my good friend Sammy Davis Jr. used to say, the words to live life by: peace, love, and Manischewitz, baby. Have a good week. We'll see you next week from all of us here at Drivetime Radio.